Everyone, this is an overview of the EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique process that we'll be teaching in this class. I'm going to be teaching you the Choices Protocol, which is a shorter version of the EFT manual that Gary Craig created and which can be downloaded for free from the emofree.com website, which is also listed on your resource page. Now, the Choices Protocol is designed to help you simultaneously reduce or eliminate a negative emotion and to install a positive one in its place. And the way this works is that you start with a verbal setup phrase, and all you need to do is have a phrase that describes the negative emotion you're experiencing. It could be a word like fear, it could be anxiety, it could be a specific fear, it could be fear of failure, it could be uncomfortableness marketing, it could be overwhelm, it could be any negative emotion that you put any label you want. It doesn't have to be a clinical term, it just has to be that you know and your body knows what that feeling and that phrase means. I worked with a Vietnam vet, and one of his biggest traumas of his life he simply called my kid memory when he was involved in shooting a child who was attacking him in Vietnam. So it didn't have to be the word trauma or anxiety or anything. He just said my kid trauma, and he knew exactly what that meant. Similarly, you want to have a positive phrase. So typically what we do is we'll start with a setup phrase, as you'll see in the other video, and you'll start with, even though I have this blank, this negative emotion, I choose to feel, or I choose to have, the positive. And in the other video, I use simply, even though I have this fear, I choose to feel calm and relaxed. EFT does not help you identify the core belief, such as the core process does, but once you're aware of a core process, feeling, belief, or limitation, you can use EFT to reduce or eliminate it. And typically what we will do is start by rating our negative emotion on a 1 to 10 scale. So my fear might be an 8, it might be a 9, it might be a 7, and our goal is to get it down to a 0 or a 1. And typically this happens by repeating the sequence that you'll see in the other video anywhere from 1 to 3 times. The other thing that can happen, though, is sometimes there are different layers of emotion that unpack. As you clear out one layer, you may find there's another one there. I'll give you an example. I worked with a man who had a fear of elevators, and we first started on the most superficial level, which was, even though I'm afraid of elevators, and we were able to get that from a 10 to a 0. Then I said to him, please check inside and see if there's anything else there, and he found out that yes, there was. When an elevator was crowded, he felt more anxious. So we tapped away that from a 10 to a 1. So he could say, even though I'm more anxious when an elevator is crowded, I feel confident and relaxed when riding in one. Then I asked him again, is there any other issue? And he said, yes, the speed of the elevator. So we had to tap on that. And we cleared that out. And finally, we got to what was the deepest part for him, which was a feeling that I can't get out. It was this claustrophobic feeling that he had no idea all these years that he'd had this was really driving the whole thing. So he finally realized that when the door shut on the elevator, he had this panic that I can't get out. And we never would have identified that had we not cleared out the other 3 layers. So once we cleared that out, there actually was an elevator in the building, and we were able to go, I grabbed 5 people, we went in the elevator up 4 or 5 times, and he was actually laughing, which was shocking to him. And this whole thing took maybe 20 minutes. The bonus for him was that when he got home, he told his wife about it, and he had never flown in an airplane in 22 years because of his fear of can't get out on an airplane, which again he had never realized. And all of his vacations, his wife and he had to drive to. And because of the EFT session, which took 20 minutes, he made a plane reservation to go to Europe for his anniversary. So his wife called me up thrilled and said, I don't know what you did, but thank you. There's several variations of EFT, but this is the one I have used for about 10 years that has had the most positive effects in the shortest amount of time that people have been able to learn quickly. And I think you'll find it's a very effective technique for reducing or eliminating most negative feelings in the body.